Hey, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Before we get started, there is a major shift coming to the channel come the beginnings of May, but fret not, I will be very active and streaming regularly on Twitch. So if you have not created an account yet and followed me over on my Twitch channel, that is DarkSpiderDavid for the username. So it's twitch.tv/DarkSpiderDavid. We're currently holding a goal of 50 followers, so if you can help out with that by checking out the channel, checking out past broadcasts that I've done, and seeing if you like what you see, hit the follow button. You won't regret it. See you then. Hey guys, David here with another headset review. This time it's for one that's very unique for particular reasons. And it's actually the first OMEN product that I'm reviewing. It is for HP under the OMEN brand, the Mindframe gaming headset. And there's something rather unique about this headset that makes it stand out from the others. Whether it's good or bad, let's find out in the review. But first, let's take a look at what you exactly get inside. But before that, this box though, usually I don't really expect premium packaging from headsets. I mean, the past couple of headsets that I reviewed, the most premium that I probably got were from the HyperX Cloud 2s from HyperX. HP, with their OMEN line here, they spare no expense. So as you can see, here we have the box. It has a nice heft to it. It's a little massive for my taste, but I actually like the way it was kind of composed and put together. First of all, we have this nice premium matte finish kind of coating to the entire box, filled in with little red, not translucent, but really reflective painting going on right there on the HP OMEN symbol, as well as the logo up here where it says HP OMEN Mindframe for the headset. And then we have the headset right there, a little breakdown of the technology that we'll break down later on in the review, as well as little features about the headset from surround sound, RGB lighting, etc. We'll test all that stuff out later on in the review. Then at the top, it says right there, HP OMEN Mindframe, another breakdown of the headset with the peg hook. Not much on the bottom except the UPC codes and of course all your legal stuff. Then over on the sides is the continuation of that OMEN logo with the headset there. And then on the very other side, a breakdown of what's the contents inside, which we're about to get to, requirements, compatibility things, as well as the HP OMEN logo at the top, right there. And then we flip it to the back, and then we just get more in-depth looks at the features for the headset. Not much going on there on the back, except it's just the overall feel and quality of the box that actually feels rather nice. Furthermore, if you take a look at this, they actually have a magnet in the inside that holds this tab down. And when you do so, you have a nice little book style opening to the box that showcases a window with the product inside, otherwise the headset, as well as some nice little designs going on there on the inside with a nice cool breakdown kind of look at the headset, showing off the technology on the inside as well as a cool look at the headset itself, the HP OMEN logo there, and then of course our headset, which we will get into now. Gonna need my keys once more. Here. There you go. All right, almost ruined my mojo there. It looks like it's actually attached to the box, so okay. So you needn't fret to lose this little window portion of the box. You reach inside and you pull out pretty much all of the contents. You have all of your quick start guides, breakdowns of what the headset does and all its special features, and of course how to use inside of this nice little Ziploc bag. Also, besides that, they throw in these cute little reflective stickers housing the HP OMEN logo right there. It does look like it's primarily just the headset that we really get here in this box, and I think it looks like it's tied down with some twisty ties. Yep, it does look like so. Not much in the way of accessories. So when it comes to the HP OMEN Mindframe here, you're kind of trading in really diverse accessories to kind of diversify your experience and also enhance your experience. But unless you want to consider the really cool premium box and accessory, you at least get that. So here is the headset itself. Now, it is under the OMEN brand, so if you've been in the PC gaming circuit for a while and you're kind of familiar with how HP's OMEN branded laptops and desktops have kind of been stylized and designed, the HP OMEN Mindframe gaming headset kind of follows suit a little bit, with mainly being black with a couple of touches of red accents, mainly the cable there across the top of the headband. Cable kind of peeps out a little bit here towards the sides, and then of course there is the actual aesthetic to the headset itself, especially around the cups right here, where you can kind of see that the frame of the headset starts to take this diamond shaped kind of motif here on the sides, along with the sideways square design housing the HP OMEN logo right in the middle. And overall, it's a very it's a very sturdy headset. Let's talk about the headset itself and exactly the physical qualities of it. So overall, it's a very durable and very, rough headset, and that could mean several different things. For one, the band here at the top is made out of very hard, durable plastic. However, transitioning over here over to the not only the frame that's holding the cups in place, but also the cups themselves, we start to deal with either what perceives to be either an aluminum or downright a metal, some kind of, I don't think it's a stainless steel metal. I think there could be an attractive factor to it that could kind of bring in scratches and marks, so you got to be careful with that, with any kind of bufferings going on in the metal sheet there. But it's durable because it is steel or metal that's actually housing the cups right here. So there's no denying that the cups and maybe the bottom part of this frame here is going to survive something drastically, much more so than the top band right here. Now, right from the get-go, you can definitely see that there's actually a pad right here, a headband pad that's actually tethered from the middle of the frame towards the other side of the middle portion. So it's not at the very top like you usually expect like other gaming headsets, and that's because it's designed to be flexible. It's designed to fit universally across many different head shapes to provide the best form of comfort. So you'll notice right there, you have it at the bottom part right there, and it stretches all the way to the top right there via the little elastic bands. The cups themselves are actually circular. I believe this is the first headset I'm reviewing that has circular cups. So you'll notice right there, they're a perfect circle. They're not like some other headsets that I've reviewed where it's either oval, like the HyperX Cloud 2s, or it's a sideways rectangular type of shape that's supposed to kind of surround your ears, but it's still kind of angled at certain parts, like the Logitech headsets that I reviewed, or even the Astro A20s. So even though that's the case, it still felt comfortable around the ear. I didn't feel like my ear was getting folded in any kind of sense, and that's primarily due to the very thick but also very plushable, if that's even a word, I'm making a word right now, but the very comfortable and form-fitting cushions are actually on the cups. This fabric right here and this material is really, really nice. Feels really, really good up against the skull or my temple right here. So it feels rather nice. And I am a glass wearer on the regular. I don't really wear my glasses here, or my eyewear rather, on camera, only to prevent glare. But normally I wear glasses when I game, when I'm watching movies, when I'm doing work on the computer. I'm always wearing them. So having this headset around the glasses was rather comfortable. And then also, to kind of top things off, you do have the cable itself that it's attached to, which is coated in a very thick and robust threaded fabric right around the cable. So it's very, very durable, perhaps a little too robust, only because when unfolding it from its where'd it go, it had a little Velcro grip to it, unless I lost it. Yep, I might have lost it, but it did come in a little Velcro tie to kind of house the whole thing together, and because it was all crumpled, it came undone, yet it took a while for it to be as flexible as it is right now, so just know that ahead of time. And then at the end, you got one thing that could make or break this headset for a lot of people. Yes, you're seeing this correct. It's a USB connection. And that's because this headset from HP is intended to be primarily for PC, and that's why you do have a USB connection. So that does a number of things. One, you are completely omitting any kind of mobile device or any device period that takes a 3.5mm jack, whether it be your console controller, the Nintendo Switch, etc. And also you'll be taking up a USB port off of your computer or console, because this is where things get a little tricky. The box clearly states that this strictly, well, I wouldn't say strictly, but it's intended heavily for PC use, especially because HP is a PC company. I straight up curious, tested it out on my PS4, and it works just like any other gaming headset. And there's a very good chance that it's going to work on the Xbox as well. I didn't test it out, but considering that Xbox is from Microsoft, it's kind of a given. All those things that I just mentioned right now sounds like it would make for a very comfortable and very secure headset. I kept mentioning adjectives like robust, tough, gruff. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what I was saying, but I was mentioning an awful lot of the things about the frame and about the cups being made out of metal and being made out of this construction that looks like this is a very premium quality built headset. But it comes with a significant drawback, because when wearing this headset, I came into the realization of a couple of things. One, the top band right here, as you can see right here, I feel like I have a very average sized head. Unless you ask my girlfriend, she often says I have a big head. But, who is she to be the critic? Actually, she criticizes me about a lot of things, and most often she's right. Anyhow, the band is actually stretched all the way to the top, as you can see. So that flexibility that this is supposed to kind of provide just automatically hits the highest point, which makes me think two things. One, why couldn't the rubber or the pleathery band just be put here at the top like any conventional headset? Like this right here looks like they were trying a little too hard. And also, that brings up point number two. That really about does it for adjustability, because other headsets typically have like a little section where you can kind of pull on these cups right here and adjust them so that you can kind of have different options for people who have different shaped heads or sized heads. If you're already hitting here, you got nowhere else to go. And I actually came across a situation where I was gaming for a justifiable amount of time. I want to say about 2.5, closing in on 3 hours. And I did start to feel a little bit of that discomfort here at the top of my head, because it was already hitting this point and there's no room for me to be able to adjust the cups from their frame any more than any other headsets would do. And that could be an issue. But that kind of pales in comparison to the other issue that I primarily had with this headset, which is actually the weight. This is arguably the weightiest, or rather heaviest, headset that I probably covered, because not only do we have the metal surrounding these cups right here that are obviously going to give it some extra protection, but also the technology that HP under the OMEN brand kind of brags about with this headset that I'll cover in a little bit. Those two things combined within the cups is going to make them rather top heavy. So I found myself feeling just a little weighed down by the headset on occasion, whether it be just gaming or having it connected to my computer and I'm just watching a video on YouTube, or I was trying to listen to like a podcast or a little commentary type thing while I was trying to do some homework. And even there was one instance where I was staring down at my paper while doing homework, and as I left my head in this position, I actually started to feel the headset start to slide off. So even though it feels comfortable up against my head, especially wearing glasses right here, for those glass wearers out there, it's still going to take the weight of its cups that it's going to start to kind of work against itself by starting to feel like it's tugging on its own and it's kind of collapsing on its own weight. Especially if I ever kind of shift my head or jolt it, I feel like the whole headset's going. It may not come across too well on camera, but trust me, if you were to wear the headset for a good amount of time and notice yourself kind of moving around, especially if maybe you're playing like VR and you have a VR headset over you or something of that nature, you might find that the headset is just kind of moving on its own. And at times you might get a little scared that you might not have any proper control over it, or it might actually slip off your head completely. Alright, so now let's talk about some of the physical features actually on the headset, especially that big one that HP is really proud of with this bad boy. So first and foremost, there's no real sense of I/O on the headset. There's not a huge load of buttons. The only thing that you really have that you can kind of toggle is the volume dial down here on the right cup. It's on my left, but it's actually on the right when you wear the headset. So you have it right here, and the dial itself is really well built. It's got a good feel to it, a good tug. Give it that good tug, yeah. And you got the grip over the wheel that actually makes it rather good to kind of turn up and down. What I think is kind of cool is that since HP intends this for it to be a PC-centric headset, you can actually clip it or plug it into your PC, whichever kind of type of PC that you have, especially if it has updated drivers. And as soon as the computer recognizes that this is a gaming headset hooked up to the USB, you can actually control the volume of your PC with this thing right here. So you wouldn't have to hover the cursor over the volume button down at the corner, or use shortcuts on the keyboard to do it. You can actually go directly to your headset and change the volume that way. And I thought that was actually rather convenient for them to throw in. And I would have loved to have kept this up until the end for you trolls out there, but I guess I should probably just talk about it now. The microphone. You have the microphone that's built into the headset right here, comes down, and when you do, it activates. When you prop it back up, it mutes up and you will no longer be able to use it. And I do like that you do have a little light at the edge of the microphone that indicates when it's on and off. So that's pretty cool. And when you do have it down and you're ready to use it, I found it to be quite surprising. And here's why. Actually, I should probably plug it before that happens, right? Here we go. Okay, so this is where the headset is actually at its most surprising for me personally. On the last headset that I reviewed, I noticed that the sound that was actually coming into the mic and into my headset sounded good, but then when I played it back, despite being at a very high hertz rate, it sounded kind of muffled, sounded kind of compressed, ugly, didn't like it. Well, I've done this a number of takes already, and this is actually some good sounding audio coming into the microphone and out of my ears, even during the playback for this test that you're hearing. And this is arguably the best sounding mic I've ever heard on a gaming headset. So as you can tell, it works very comfortably with the PC, obviously, since this is what HP intended it for it to be on originally. So it's going to be very respectable with programs like Audacity, any kind of editing software, recording software, especially since it's using the USB plug. And maybe you can argue that maybe that's one of the reasons why it sounds so good, is because it's using USB. I believe it's 3.0, so you're going to be able to really take advantage of that connection speed. It's not using 3.5 millimeter. And then also, this sound quality out of the mic works on the PS4 too. Check it out. Hello, testing, 1 2 3, testing, 1 2 3, testing, 1 2 3. So if you were anticipating the mic on this headset to be one of the drawing factors of it, you can kind of feel safe, because this is actually a very enticing microphone that makes me think I'll probably keep these things. This is actually a very good gaming headset mic that incentivizes me to want to use this headset for some kind of like emergency type video setup, where I don't want to set up this microphone right here for a review, or I don't want to necessarily have the whole shebang here and just use this. And that might actually end up being the route that I'll take. So very, very good job, HP. You did a number on the headset, or on the microphone, I should say. Anyways, that about does it for the mic test. Let's get back to the review and talk about the headset some more. All right. So as you can tell, that mic is actually one of the most impressive things I have seen in gaming headsets thus far. Granted, I haven't tried them all out, but that's one particular detail about this headset that made me go, you might have a few tricks up your sleeve. What else do you have to show for me? Well, for one, you have two particular features that are in the headset, but they're not controlled by the headset. They're controlled by the proprietary software from HP OMEN, and that's called the OMEN Command Center, something that you actually have to manually download onto your PC to be able to control these features on the headset. And once you do, you get to control two big things. First of all, it's the RGB. The RGB is, of course, the red, green, and blue color variant lighting that you have actually on the headset. Now, it's not exactly the most abundant form of lighting, and that could be subjective. Some of you guys might want to have an awful lot of lighting going on in your headset, and some of you folks might want to be a little bit minimal. It is more on the minimal side. You only have the little diamond section right here of the headset that actually illuminates with the RGB. And then you're able to control the RGB with the software, the HP OMEN Command Center software on the PC. My criticisms with the RGB, however, is that it's not necessarily the most customizable. You get to choose across the spectrum of the color wheel, and you could do it either in a basic function where you just choose the different palettes and you go from one to the next, and it follows the routine of going from red to blue and green and everything in between bars. Or you can get a little advanced with it by actually toggling the hue slider to be able to fade across the different colors and not go from like one static one to the next, and you can actually choose something that's kind of in between, like a bluish green, etc., and also change the brightness of said color. Now, my main complaint with the brightness slider on this feature is that brightness slider doesn't really turn down or mute, either mute or embolden the color itself. You have to be kind of in between in the slider, otherwise if you toggle it all the way to the right, the color just goes white. It doesn't turn into like say for example you're doing red. It doesn't turn into like a super pinkish red. It just turns white. And then if you turn it down, it's a little dark red, but before you know it, that thing turns black. And it's like, this is not exactly what I'm looking for. You kind of have to stick in between, so it feels a little limited in that sense. Furthermore, you also have the availability to have the RGB be controlled by the sound that's actually coming through your headset. And so far, that sound feature just doesn't appeal to me because, for one, sometimes it looks like it's kind of overly sensitive or undersensitive depending on what exactly you're playing on your computer. So sometimes it feels like you have to be listening to the loudest of things to be able to have those lights constantly reverberate or change according to the peakness of your sound or the equalization of your sound, etc. And also the colors, you don't get to really choose the colors. The colors are chosen for you whenever it blinks here on the side, so I never found that feature to be actually kind of appealing. Now, the second feature that you get to control with the HP OMEN software is the big one, and that is that the HP OMEN Mindframe that you see before you is supposedly the first ever gaming headset that features its own cooling system inside of the cups of the headset, entitled Frostcap technology. This is designed so that gamers, when they go on long sessions like 7 to 8 and 9 hours, which is typically considered unhealthy by the government, they want to keep their ears and their head cool. And so far, after testing the feature out, which could be controlled in the HP OMEN software by either turning it off completely or turning it on, and then having the cooling mechanism inside of the headset to be either on low, medium, or high, and unfortunately, nothing in between, kind of mimics the limited customization of the RGB. I thought it was cool, and yeah, it made me, giggle like all giddy like a nerdy little boy, knowing that my cups were actively being cooled while I was either watching something on my computer or I was playing a game. But over time, the novelty kind of wore off, especially when I discovered that after a little while, two things happen. If you seemingly turn it off in the HP OMEN center, unless I'm missing something, that cooling mechanism still kind of goes on. Either that or maybe the metal inside of the cups stays cold, so unless you blow on your cups or something, it's not going to get rid of that cold anytime soon because it's all housed in there. And furthermore, when you do have that cooling software on, the high is a little too high and the low is still a little higher than I was expecting it to. And it's cool to see that it's actively blowing out the hot air from your ears, and you can actually feel the warmth of the technology working here on the outside of the cup. But over time, I also noticed that it replaced it with condensation inside of the cups. I actually looked inside, and I noticed looked inside because I pressed it up against my ear one time, and I was like, what the hell was that? And I looked inside, condensation inside of my cup, and I don't know how I feel about having moisture inside of a very expensive electronic device such as this. And I don't know if you will either. Also, you should note that cooling mechanism is on by default if you do have it hooked up to a console, even though the box says not to. I hooked up to my PS4 and the cooling function turns back on. Only, of course, since you have it hooked up to a console, you won't be able to control that or the RGB. In fact, I don't think that even the RGB turns on at all, but the cooling does. I thought that was actually a little peculiar, and you're not going to be able to modify it because it's hooked up to a console. Now, the one thing that I should probably disclose before wrapping up the review is actually how the sound quality is. I will admit, I think the sound quality on these headsets are pretty damn good. I would say it rivals the HyperX Cloud 2, if not maybe even a little bit better, because the first time I actually listened to any kind of sound on this headset was appropriately and rather ignorantly the sound of my own beautiful voice, because I was actually editing a video at the time, and I remember playing these things in and playing the video, and it sounded like I was actually talking into my own ear. So that was nuts. And I did think that the quality of the actual sound that's coming out of the headset and the sound that's going into the headset from the mic, as you heard, is actually rather exceptional. So they spared no expense in that technology. I just felt like they maybe got a little too far with the cooling mechanism, that I think it's really going to depend. It's a very niche feature that I think it's going to depend on who you are, whether it be a console gamer, a PC gamer, and then within the constructs of a PC gamer, how casual of a PC gamer you are versus how hardcore are you willing to go through those long sessions that you are going to need that feature. And also, I know this is going to sound a little unrelated, but the season also plays a huge effect. It's actually rather chilly here in Southern California, especially because of fucking global warming, despite the fact that it's entering springtime now. It's still added to the chilliness that was going around, that I had to turn the cooling mechanism either off or low, because even when it was off, it was still going on. So I turned it down low to its most minimum level, because I was honestly getting too cold. And I was wanting to spend enough time with this headset, but at occasions I thought about, I would rather just go back to my Logitech or go back to my HyperX while just editing a video. I can, however, definitely see this being a huge commodity during the summertime, especially if you're out of school and you want to be able to go on those long PC gaming sessions. I feel like this could be up of someone's alley. I just don't know if it's going to be for mine. So I'm going to be giving the HP OMEN Mindframe gaming headset with the Frostcap technology a very high 7 out of 10. I understand that they try to be very premium quality with this headset. I just feel like at the same time, it was somebody's kind of experiment. And the experiment might work for some folks, might not for some others, which makes this a headset that, with its price point of about, I think, $200, a little bit of a gamble, depending on whether or not you were able to catch up on reviews or be able to do the proper extensive amount of research to decide if that cooling feature is going to be right for you. Otherwise, save a few bucks and go for an ideally similar headset that spares that technology but gives you still the same quality of audio, both in the speakers and also in the microphone, because I'm pretty sure there's something out there like that. And I should note, for you very serious gamers, especially the first-person shooter aficionados, this headset does come with built-in 7.1 surround sound technology, along with the Frostcap, particularly for PC. I didn't really notice it that much when connected to the PS4, but on PC, I went a couple of rounds of Apex Legends, and I did take notice of the 7.1 surround sound, to where I was able to move around, hear footsteps, voices were actually tracking in my directions where they're supposed to be, so it wasn't just it was actually like they were navigating around my axes. 7.1, pretty cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the HP OMEN Mindframe gaming headset from HP. Do you think it's cool that they developed a Frostcap technology to keep your ears cool, or do you think that it's simply just a gimmick to charge you that extra money? Let me know you guys' feedback in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and share it to anybody who's looking into getting a gaming headset or who expressed interest in the HP OMEN Mindframe. Until the next time, guys, make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter. DarkSpiderDavid is the username. Links are in the description below. And more importantly, follow me on Twitch. I do gaming streams. Occasionally, I even do some what I like to call commentary streams or podcast-style streams, where I'm simply in this kind of layout here, and I'm talking directly into the camera and interacting with you guys' comments and questions and concerns. Feel free to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/DarkSpiderDavid. The links are in the description. I'll see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching once more. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. The best way I can put it is that pretty much the entire 2/3 or so of season 2 is just comprised of 14 episodes, as opposed to the season 1 13, is comprised of an overarching plot called Neogenic Nightmare, if I'm not mistaken. And trust me, when you're finished with this plot, you're going to be so sick of two particular words: neogenic and recombinator.
Neogenics.
Neogenic device?
Neogenics is involved.
Neogenic recombinator.
Neogenic treatments.
Part of the recombinator. Neogenic treatments.
Recombinator?
The recombinator.